Hey guys, Buffy Game back today bringing you a video, and today we are doing our weapon conversion series for the Ukrainian-made Malyuk. So this is actually going to be the 7.62 by 39mm version, so the Malyuk K-01 is what we're going to be making here. So we'll go ahead, back out, look at the weapon, how we unlock it, and then I'll go into some history of the weapon while we're doing the conversion. So let's go ahead and back out. This is the new weapon here in the Battle Pass, the TR-76 Geist, or the Malyuk K-01, chambered in 7.62 by 39 Russian cartridge. So the same as the AK-M and 103, or the here in this game would be the cast-off 7.62, is the same cartridge that this fires. So backing out, how do we unlock this weapon? First off, through the Battle Pass here, you can get it here in section F7. So if you go black cell, it's going to be the same amount to go over to it as it is here at the base. However, if you get black cell, you unlock tokens. So basically, I was able to go black cell reluctantly and get right over and unlock this thing right away. So this is the only thing I really care about in this battle pass, so I got it right off the bat. Really cool weapon here. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So first off, if we look at the weapon here, TR-76 Geist is a hard-hitting bullpup assault rifle chambered in 7.62 by 39mm, highly modular. This weapon system can be adapted to fit a wide range of tactics and combat scenarios. So perfect. Let's go ahead and we'll strip this thing down to base. So here is our base Malyuk. Now, we're going to leave the base barrel attachment here, which is pretty much, this is an AK-M style muzzle brake on this. Now, one thing to know about this weapon, this is essentially a AK-M, AK-103 configured in a bullpup configuration, okay? So the receiver at base is still that of a Soviet or a Russian-made AK-M or a 103. It's just completely bullpup, made into a bullpup modular system here from the Ukrainian military. This is the basically trial and error over probably since 2005 of the Vulcan weapon system, which they were experimenting with, again, just different conversion kits for the AK systems. And ultimately, they came up with this, the Malyuk. So looking at the suppressor options, we don't really have the IPI suppressor for this. IPI is the manufacturer of this weapon. So you could absolutely go with the PBS 1 suppressor here for the Castovia DX90. However, we're going to opt for no suppressor for this just because we don't have the right suppressor that I would want to use. So the barrel attachment, at base, the barrel is going to be 16 inches for this weapon. So we're going to want the base barrel attachment. But you can see the other attachments here that we have. We have a longer recoil control option, another long-range damage at range. We have a short barrel configuration. We have another long barrel for recoil. And then we have an integrally suppressed barrel, which is a longer barrel with what looks like a M-lock handguard for the extension there. But this is integrally suppressed, which is pretty cool. So we have that. For the laser options, we have all the same here. One thing to note, there is no unique weapon attachments for this weapon on the progression tree, which is unfortunate. They could have added the suppressor and maybe some other attachments for this, but they didn't. So you don't have anything unique here, unfortunately. Laser, we're going to go ahead and add the green laser here, the AccuShot 5mW laser. Go ahead and add that. Now for the optic, this is all personal preference. A lot of the ones that I see on the Malyuk in real life used by Ukrainian Special Forces are you either have aim points like this, or you have aim point flip sights, hybrid sights. So we're going to go ahead and run the aim point. However, you can definitely throw on some of the hybrid options. Would also look pretty nice on this as well. So that's all personal preference, whichever one you want to use. For this video, we're going to go with the aim point optic, or as it's called in this game, would be the SZ-07. Go ahead and select that. We're going to run the base stock. However, you see you have different butt stock options here. Nothing crazy. Comb, we're going to run the base comb. However, you do, again, have different options here. Rear grip, we're going to run the base rear grip on this, but again, you have the same typical options that you would expect. Now, magazine, we're going to run the base 30-round magazine. This is a Bakelite AK, the K-01s here pretty much run RPK, AKM style Bakelite magazines. You can obviously run this with a steel magazine also, but here in game, they use the Bakelite magazine model. You have the Geist single tap, which converts this to a high grain ammunition for semi-auto. And then you also have the 45 round 7.62 by 39 magazine there. So those are your options. We're going to run the base. Ammunition for this, we're going to go ahead and run overpressured for the heck of it. And then the underbarrel option here, we are going to run the bipod foregrip, just because that's what you see a lot of the models advertised with. Ukrainian SSO typically runs more so grips kind of like this, the Cronin groove shot grip, so you can definitely run that also. However, for aesthetic purposes and what we see in the model, we're going to run the bipod foregrip on this. And these are all of the attachments we're going to run on this. So you can obviously go ahead and throw on something else there as you see fit. But to stay true to design, this is how we're going to run this. This is our final design for the Malyuk, Ukrainian Malyuk K-01. Really nice design here. Looks really clean. Now, some things to note here. The charging handle, like I said, this is essentially an AKM-103 configured in a bullpup configuration is what this is. It's a receiver, the receiver for those AKM, the AK-103 at base. So for this one, it's been modified. So the typical AK charging handle has been like sawed off, and they replaced it up here with this charging handle on the left-hand side in the front of the weapon. Now this, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, should be able to be configured for ambidextrous use. We have here in the back, the select fire is ambidextrous. Now this again was replaced in certain models. They would either have the same AK style select fire options, but here it's been replaced with a 2-point system. So you either have semi or you have full auto. No burst options here. This has been replaced with that ambidextrous system here for the 2-point select fire. So you can see here on back it's ambidextrous, and you see either single or full. Now you also see the receiver for the AKM here. This is a stamped receiver. You can tell by that little marking there above the magazine well, showing this is a stamped receiver of either an AKM or a 103. So then also we have, you can see the chassis of this has been improved, so you can see where it's the receiver of the AK system. And then you can see the mag well has been extended to allow for the magazine to drop out. You don't need to rock it out, anything like that. Easier reloads. You can reload and fire with one hand. You have the trigger, and then right behind the trigger, you have the magazine release behind the trigger. So you would pull the trigger, and then obviously to release the magazine, just right there behind the trigger, you would pull that to release the magazine. And that's pretty much it for this weapon. With this, you have a Picatinny rail across the top of the weapon, full-length pick rail. And then you have a Picatinny rail on the right-hand side and the bottom of the weapon as well. And you could also configure it in real life to be on all 4 sides. Here it's only on 3 sides. So this is, because we have our charging handle here, you really wouldn't want to put any attachment under the charging handle on the right-hand side. But this is our Ukrainian-made Malyuk K-01, shipping to 762 by 39mm. Let's go ahead and jump into the gun range just so you guys can see how this plays out. Do our inspect. Pretty cool inspect. Got that Bakelite magazine. Pretty nice, showing that there is one still in the chamber. Pretty good ADS with this. Now, as I'm making this, the gun range is a little bit laggy for whatever reason, at least here in privates, but the gameplay was just fine. So there's the reload. You can see the quick reload. And then do the fast reload here. Be the tactical reload. Again, you see how that magazine drops right out and he's able to replace it. So that's pretty cool. And again, this is firing the same cartridge as the cast-off 7.62. We don't have it configured or tuned really for the best recoil control. And I personally don't like this optic that much in game, but it still works pretty well. So that's our Ukrainian-made Malyuk K-01 and 7.62 by 39mm. Let's go ahead and back out really quick. I'll show you guys the camos that come unique with this. So we have the Velt camo, Wild Funk. You have the scratched up camo, and then you have the light revisited camo. So this is our Ukrainian-made Malyuk. Let's go ahead now and we'll jump into the gameplay for this weapon. So this is, again, this is a really cool weapon, and I'll leave you guys with the gameplay after we get to the description of this. But Malyuk itself means little or baby is what it means in Ukrainian. Also referred to as the Vulcan-M. This is, as I said, it is a Soviet-era Kalashnikov rifle reconfigured into a bullpup type layout. So here with the K-01, it's going to be an AKM or a 103 receiver at base, with this brand new chassis system pretty much built around it. So this weapon, pretty cool. It is a bullpup assault rifle. It's been in service since 2017 through present. We see a lot of this being used by the Ukrainian Special Forces here in the Russian conflict going on in Ukraine right now. We see it very active there by a lot of Ukrainian Special Forces. The designer is Interproinvest, IPI, and it's been in production since 2015. Again, this is pretty much a project of multiple iterations of earlier bullpup type kits for the AK systems, and this is ultimately what they ended up coming up with through a lot of trial and error over the years since the early 2000s. With Ukraine being part of the former Soviet Union, they have a surplus of Soviet weapons, mainly AKs, so it wouldn't make sense for them to switch to another platform. So they had really been trying to bullpup this weapon for a long time, and this is the final product of that. So produced 2015 through present. The mass of the weapon system is going to be 8.38 pounds or 3.8 kilograms. The length overall is going to be 28 inches or 712 millimeters, with a barrel length of 16 inches or 415 millimeters. Now, in real life, you have the version of the K-02 firing 5.45 by 39 millimeter, and then you also have the K-01, which we're covering here, firing the 7.62 by 39 millimeter. There is also a version that fires the 5.56 by 45 millimeter NATO round also, just to note. Obviously, that's not in this game. Either is the 5.45 variant. Rate of fire of this weapon is going to be 660 rounds per minute. So again, the same fire rate pretty much as the AKM, AK-103s. The effective fire range is 500 meters, with the feed system being either 10, 30, or 45 round detachable magazine. The sights are iron sights with the integrated Picatinny rail for optics for the user's preference. So now, not only is this just, I don't want to sell this weapon short, it's not just a bullpup AK system. There is a lot more to this, and they made a lot of design improvements with this weapon to make it a better weapon system. So pretty much it's made from polymer materials, and it's chambered in the 7.62 here, as we see from the AK platform, using the AK-74 style flash hider on here, and also utilizing the 47 AKM or RPK based magazines. Again, it can either fire steel or a bakelite, which we're seeing here in the game, the bakelite magazine. They've also made improvements. The barrel itself is an air-cooled system, which improves the barrel life of the weapon. They've also improved the recoil of the weapon as well with this design. So recoil is reduced by 50%, IPI claims, which allows the user to not only fire the weapon one-handed, unload, reload with the magazine one-handed also. So the Malyuk can also either retain the AKM-based select fire or the ambidextrous low-profile two-position select fire, which we see here in this game. So that's pretty much it for this weapon. It's a really cool weapon, improved barrel life of this weapon because it's an air-cooled system, and they reduced the recoil over 50%. And overall, you're keeping the same barrel length with a shorter compact system with the bullpup. That's exactly what the bullpup system is you have the same length of the barrel that you would see in a cast-off 7.62 or the 103 here in game, or an AK-47, with a shorter overall weapon system because of the bullpup layout. The barrel's going the full length of the weapon instead of having a buttstock behind it and then starting the barrel and the receiver's group going forward. So pretty cool weapon. Now, they did basically a one-for-one here in the game with this. Usually, like we saw with the VHS that was added, they took a lot of liberties with that gun. It really looks nothing like a VHS. Here with the Malyuk, probably because it's a Ukrainian weapon, licensing fees really a lot different. This is almost a one-for-one of the exact Malyuk, which is awesome to see. I'm glad they did this thing justice. This is the first time I think there's been a Malyuk in any video game. Someone can correct me down low if I'm wrong. But really good to see this here in the game. Really pumped to see this. It's a really nice weapon. And again, it's pretty much a one-for-one of the real-life weapons. So really cool. Really happy they added it to the game. Now, I will be live on Twitch once this video goes live, so I'll be playing DMZ. A lot of DMZ changes here. They changed up assimilation to 4-man total. Also increased a lot of the price points for things at the buy station, so I will be over on Twitch playing DMZ for the remainder of the day. So go ahead and check that out. Link is down below. If you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We do have memberships open here on the channel. So we do have members, 7 total members here on the channel that you guys can add to that group of, we have, I think, like I said, 7 total members. There's 3 different tiers also. 4 memberships, you'll get different perks, things like that, and we'll be once we roll out some of the merchandise here, you'll get a little bit of a discount. But shout out to KDog350, Strike and Storm, Man Named Nobody, Aiden Flores, This Justin, FPS Cannon Fodder, and Noodly Boyo for being members here of the channel. If you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Best way to help the channel out is to watch ads, share, like, subscribe, and comment. So that's the best way to do it. Definitely not asking anybody to subscribe for memberships. Best way to do it, just watch the ads and share everything. Social media links, everything like that's down below. Till next time, this is Buffner Gaming with the Ukrainian-made Malyuk K-01 and 7.62 by 39mm. Till next time, Buffner Gaming, out.